If you're starting completely from scratch, which pots and pans should you buy? That's the question I'm going to answer in this video, but I'm not just going to give you some generic recommendations. I'm going to explain which materials, shapes, sizes, and brands are the best at 3 different budget levels: $150, $250, and $500. Even if these aren't your exact budgets, what I'm about to share is going to give you a great idea of where to start and how to build your collection over time. I've tested over 50 cookware brands, and the ones I share throughout this video perform great, last long, and are affordable without compromising quality. So if I only had $150 to spend and 0 pots and pans in my kitchen, these are the 3 essential pieces I would buy. First, you need a shallow pan, either a fry pan or a saute pan. Ideally, the total diameter is around 12 inches and the flat cooking surface is around 10 inches. This is your go-to pan for searing meats, sauteing vegetables, frying eggs, and much more. Lodge, Goldilocks, Tramontina, and Cuisinart are all excellent, affordable brands that perform on par with much more expensive options. Next, you'll need a 3 to 4 quart saucepan for liquid-based foods like pasta, grains, sauces, etc. Cookware sets often include 1.5 or 2 quart saucepans, which are great for hard-boiled eggs or a quick sauce, but when you're just getting started, it's smart to go with a bigger, more versatile size. The last essential is a half sheet pan for ingredients that need to spread out flat and bake or roast in the oven. Nordic ware is affordable, made in the USA, and thick, so it's less likely to warp. These 3 pans will cover almost all of your cooking needs, but there are a few different approaches you can take with the shallow pan. Instead of a fry pan with sloped walls, option 1 includes the Goldilocks 3.5 quart stainless steel saute pan. This pan is compatible with all cooktops, including induction. It's oven safe up to 550 degrees Fahrenheit, and it has a large helper handle. The wide cooking surface gives you lots of room to sear meat and saute vegetables, and the tall, straight sides allow you to cook liquids without spilling onto your cooktop. Most saute pans also come with a lid, which is perfect for wilting down large quantities of leafy greens. The problem with the saute pan is that the straighter sides make it difficult to toss and get under food with a spatula. And since moisture doesn't evaporate as quickly as it does in a fry pan with sloped walls, you may not get as good of a sear on meats, although I found that the difference is minor. This is an excellent option if you do a lot of braising or one-pan meals that involve acidic sauces. But it's not a good option if eggs are your go-to breakfast or you like to flip or toss food without a spatula. Option 2 replaces the saute pan with 2 fry pans. 1 stainless steel, which can handle any ingredient, and 1 cast iron, which is thicker and heavier, and when it's seasoned, it releases food similar to a nonstick pan. The one limitation with cast iron is acidic foods. To prevent rust, you need to season cast iron by coating it with oil and baking it in the oven. Simmering acidic foods for long periods can ruin the seasoning. That's why having the stainless steel fry pan is necessary. Compared to a saute pan, these fry pans make cooking eggs and searing meats easier. But you need to be careful with sauces, shallow frying, and other liquids because the sides are shallow and angled, and neither pan comes with a lid. Option 3 gives you a larger saucepan, and instead of a stainless steel shallow pan, you get cast iron and non-stick. You can cook eggs in stainless steel and cast iron, but it's the easiest in a non-stick pan. This Tramontina pan is relatively cheap and performs well, but eventually the coating will fail and you'll need to replace it. All of the other pans I mentioned can last a lifetime. The decision between these 3 options comes down to which shallow pans best suit your cooking style. Here's a quick side-by-side look at the 3 options. Pause the video to read. If you're working with a $250 budget, you have more options. I still recommend the 3 essentials: a stainless steel 12-inch fry pan, a 3 to 4 quart saucepan, and at least 1 half sheet pan. But at this budget, you should also consider a 6 to 8 quart stainless steel stock pot for soups, stocks, sauces, and large quantities of rice and pasta. You may not use it daily or even weekly, but it's a nice addition for hosting friends and family or prepping food for the week ahead. You'll also have plenty of room in the budget for extra pans like non-stick and cast iron. Option 1 includes the 3 essentials plus an extra sheet pan, the Lodge cast iron skillet, and an 8 quart stock pot. I usually suggest buying fully clad stainless steel pans, but the Cuisinart stock pot I recommend here has disc bottom construction, which makes it cheaper. Fully clad means the pan has a conductive core layer of aluminum or copper throughout the pan, including the sides. Disc bottom means the pan only has this conductive layer at the bottom. For fry pans and sauté pans, fully clad construction matters more because solid food is in direct contact with the bottom and often the sides. So you want all areas to heat evenly. But with larger stock pots, the liquid distributes heat evenly throughout the pot. So fully clad construction is less important and not always worth the added cost. Option 2 is the same as option 1, but I swapped the Lodge 12-inch cast iron skillet for the Tramontina 10-inch nonstick fry pan, and I swapped the Goldilocks 12-inch stainless steel pan for the slightly cheaper Tramontina 12-inch stainless steel pan. Goldilocks and Tramontina both perform well. The difference is mainly in the handle design. At this budget, you can also start looking at stainless steel cookware sets, but you still need to buy sheet pans and cast iron or nonstick pans separately. You can find good deals on sets, but the problem is that most don't have the exact sizes you need for each piece. Instead, they often include unnecessary pieces such as an 8-inch steel fry pan, which is way too small. With a $500 budget, you don't need to make any sacrifices. In addition to the 3 essentials and a large stock pot, you should also consider a 3 to 4 quart stainless steel sauté pan, a 12-inch cast iron fry pan, a 10 to 12-inch nonstick fry pan, and a 5 to 6 quart enameled cast iron Dutch oven. You could argue that a Dutch oven isn't necessary if you have a stock pot, since both are large pots with tall walls, large openings, and lids. But at this budget level, I recommend both for the same reasons I recommend buying stainless steel and cast iron skillets. Dutch ovens are heavier and retain heat better. Therefore, they're better for browning, braising, slow cooking, and any meals that require a steady temperature for long periods. This first option includes several stainless steel pans from the Cuisinart Multiclad Pro collection. This collection is fully clad, even the stock pot, and it's a slight upgrade over Goldilocks and Tramontina simply because the handle is longer and more comfortable, and the groove on top provides excellent control when tilting. When people ask about affordable alternatives to all clad, this Cuisinart collection is at the top of my list. This option also includes the Lodge Essential Enamel Dutch Oven. This Dutch oven is much cheaper than brands like Stobe and Le Creuset, but I've tested them head to head and the performance is similar. The main reason it's cheaper is because it's made in China rather than France. The second option is almost the same as the first, but with a few tweaks. Instead of Cuisinart Multiclad Pro, you get less expensive Goldilocks stainless steel pans. And instead of a 4-quart saucepan, you get 3 quarts. But with the money you save, you get a 12-inch nonstick pan instead of 10, and an extra fry pan or small saucepan. The key point is that with $500 to spend, you have many options and can swap brands, sizes, and shapes to fit your specific needs. These are just a couple of approaches that I would highly consider if I were starting from scratch on a budget. If you're ready to buy, I've linked to the pots and pans that I mentioned in this video in the video description. Those are affiliate links, so I'll earn a commission if you click and buy, but at no extra cost to you. If this was helpful, check out this video where I break down the pros and cons of the best budget cookware brands, including the brands I mentioned in this video, plus several others. I also explain which cheap cookware brands you should avoid. For more content like this, click the logo to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.